All right, so now we'll move on to Call of Duty Warzone. Taylor, I'll let you start it off. Also, you don't need to worry about spoilers because it's just Call of Duty. But Taylor, you're a big, massive Call of Duty fan, so you've kind of had a little. I think it's been over a little week now. It's been out, yeah, because it dropped like a Thursday or Friday. So, give your thoughts, your view, and yeah.
Yeah, so like I haven't gone like in depth with a lot of like battle royales. Like I've played obviously like Fortnite. I never played Apex, but I played a lot of Black Ops 4's battle royale. That was kind of like the first, or that is like the first Call of Duty kind of like take on this kind of environment, I guess you could say, or it's like gameplay. So like for me, like this Warzone experience is like the pinnacle of battle royale. I am absolutely in love with it, and I feel like compared to what Black Ops 4 tried to set up, and Black Ops 4, like that being said, it was good in its own way, but it had a lot of problems and it just had a lot of things going against it. And just what they've done with Warzone, it feels so perfectly balanced. And even when it rolled out, there were hardly, if any, like bugs or issues or glitches. It was just like the odd timeout that's happened, which is normal because it's probably just there's so many people that are hopping online now. They just passed 30 million active users, which is just legendary.
Damn,
And
that's crazy.
it's just the game is just absolutely fantastic. And like for me, like I definitely hop on like Call of Duties every year when they pump out a new one. Like it's just my go-to whenever I need like just to pass like a quick half an hour of my time. It's easy to hop on and play. And for me lately, a lot of them have been kind of like subpar. Nothing has been like super exciting, especially Black Ops 4. Like Black Ops 3 was definitely like hype for me, but then Black Ops 4 kind of took it down a notch. And then Call of Duty World War II I didn't enjoy it that much. So I was kind of like down the dumps when it came to Call of Duty. But then when this came out, I wasn't sure exactly what I was getting into. But like this game has just blown me out of the water. I've loved every aspect of it, and I've been actively playing and engaging with it, like watching a couple streams of it every now and again, and just trying to do like the best that I can with it. And like as far as like the games go, I am an active like tournament based 1v1. Like I'm so hooked into that. And now with Warzone, it's just totally changed that dynamic because they've got the whole experience of like, okay, you're a team of threes, you're going in there, and then if you die, you're going to the gulag for that 1v1. And sure enough, like there's some days where I'm just like, oh fuck, I just don't have it in me because it's so exhausting to put so much effort into like the Warzone itself. And then you get that 1v1, it just can kind of go right over your head. But like we've done some games like where you and me, Dylan, for example, like last night, like we had like so many scenarios where we're like flanking like enemies and just working like so cohesively as a team. And then there's other
Yeah.
times where it's just like you have such shitty luck and you can't you can't get like your footing like properly established, and it's just wild. And that being said, though, it's just such a great experience. The maps that they've conjoined together are just absolutely fantastic, and the like the graphics are just so beautiful in this game. And it's just I never thought I'd be in a situation where I am actually playing Call of Duty with you guys, and where I feel like because whenever I would talk about Call of Duty, I feel like you guys like, oh, it's just Call of Duty again, whatever. But it's nice to actually feel like your guys' excitement. Like it warms my heart because now I'm getting to enjoy one of
Oh,
my favorite game franchises with you guys now, which is just awesome. And
He's
to be
blackmailing
able
me.
to yeah, I know. To finally be able to play one of my favorite game franchises with my friends is just absolutely amazing because we've never, at least with me, I've never been able to actually play online games with you guys in this sense. And now with the ability of crossplay, it's brought it to life, which is just absolutely fan freaking tastic. So whatever future updates they keep rolling out for this, I'm just super excited. And this has literally only been like the first week and a half of Warzone, pretty much. So whatever comes out next, whether it's a new all like large map or new vehicles or just new like in-game content that they throw into it, I can only see it going up because like I mean the bar is really high from what they've done. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else I can say on it. Just the fact that if you haven't played Warzone, just hop on there, clear the space, on your hard drive
oh,
for
you'll need to
Oh
clear some
yeah,
space
dude,
already.
I did
oh
delete two
yeah,
games. I deleted
and
two
it's
games
just
for that.
it's legendary. You're gonna have a lot of fun, you're gonna have a lot of laughs, and you're gonna have a lot of times where you're just absolutely livid. So
Yeah. So what's the
Well,
deal? Is it just a beta, or is this just forever going to be free?
I believe it's forever gonna be free.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna
Otherwise,
say, because if they ever like, okay, beta's over, you have to buy Call of Duty to play this, like they are gonna lose like I feel like 60% of their like players. Like I feel
they
yeah,
they
for
would,
sure.
and that's the thing that they've done really, really well with this Call of Duty is, after the Black Ops Seasons Pass being like 60, $70, this that was obviously Treyarch, other companies and such, but like you have Infinity Ward, and different developers kind of like taking the helm with this, and they've completely stripped away, paying to gain any advantage in game. And it's funny because I see people saying in the comments like, I'm not going to play Battle Royale because people just are going to pay to win and all this mumbo jumbo. It's like, you got to do your research because there's none of that. The only thing you're paying for is operator skins and
What?
like cool customizable like cosmetic stuff like that. That's it. You're getting like gun blueprints, but there's nothing that gives people an advantage because you play a few games, you get like rank 20, and you can build your own custom loadouts. And at the end of the day, it's all how you use the guns, what guns you're going to use. You kill other players, you can pick up their guns and use their shit. It's just the game itself is just so it's pulled away from pay and like buying seasons passes and everything because each season that rolls out, it's free DLC. We got Rust for free, which is absolutely fantastic. Tons of new guns and gear for free. There's just so much that's coming out. So them using Warzone as a way to make more money, I don't see it happening. I don't see it in the cards at all, which makes me so at ease. So I think it'll be, beta, I think is just something they slap on there just to kind of, you know, have people hop on because it's free all across the board. Yeah, if it was more of a beta sense and a limited trial, then I don't think it would contribute to everyone ranking up like on their main accounts and characters. Because like Travis is like level 70 something, Dylan, you're like level 50 something, and if you were to buy the base game,
Whoa, why are you throwing shade at me, man? Why are you trying to throw me under the trash?
my gosh. You have been
if
playing
you
a lot.
guys were to like buy the base game, you would maintain all your ranking and unlocks and leaderboard.
Taylor, I am not buying the main game, okay?
Oh, I know, and I don't expect you guys to or whatever. That's totally fine, But I'm just saying, like, if you did, it would maintain everything. So I feel like in the beta sense, it's just like a cosmetic title they slapped on there. So I feel like it's not a limited time. I feel like it's going to be a consistent thing because even like Fortnite when their battle royale, didn't they just say it was beta or roll it out as beta, or am I mistaking on that?
No idea.
Who knows, man? I'm not a Fortnite guy, but I think that is interesting. Like, obviously, Call of Duty is like one of the most profitable games. Like, well, if you look at like each year, it's the most profitable game, right? Just every year, it's still like stacking up sales and sales and sales. So I think they want to have this free version out that anyone can play to get. Because I mean, you're right. Like, think about that. For years, like over a decade at this point, Call of Duty is just like this big top selling game, right? So there's people like me and Travis who haven't played these games in like 7 or 8 years, but put this free version out, and it kind of sucks us back in. And I think they want us, or they want the game to be like right now. It's like been on #1 on Twitch
Yeah,
since it came out, right?
exactly.
Like the most viewed game. People are talking about it again. You're getting old school players who are back in it, and so that's why I think they'll keep it free, right? Because they already are making enough money from like the game sales, and yes, they'll get more because of this, but even just like being in the spotlight, and I mean, who knows? Obviously, Twitch like is a very much a flavor of the month thing, and Fortnite has stayed up there. So who knows? Maybe this will stay up there and contend with Fortnite in the most viewed slot for months to come. Who's to say? But I think they like it right where it's at. I think it's a perfect spot for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think
Who's up next?
I think Dill makes a good point there. It's just like because I can go next on the mainstream point is I think they just want new eyes on it. They don't want it the same way Taylor you talked about like you talked about on the cast for many years, but it was just you talking about it on the cast, right? This way they got me right now talking about Dylan. They got other people, even people that obviously I'm even doing for podcasts, just going around. It's free to play, so I even talked to a few people at work about it. Yeah, my history with COD, I played it like in middle school like everyone else, but I wasn't big even in the online scene. Like as I've said many times, I'm a solo game guy, so I wasn't even big to that. And then the last game We've talked about this many times. The last game I ever played was Ghost, just because PS4 didn't have that many games. Got it, trash Call of Duty game. So I was kind of done with Call of Duty, and even then, like when the last, I think from then till maybe Doom, I can't remember a first-person shooter I had bought that was one of a newer game or something like that, not like a remaster, like something like a Golden, like I even played. So other than Doom, I won because I really liked back in the day, and it was something unique where Call of Duty wasn't really doing anything for me, so this was free. I wanted to try it. Never played any battle royales, anything like that too. So I just wanted to try it, especially Taylor was getting hyped. So that okay, give it a chance. Especially we're gonna talk about this podcast, so that okay, I'll give it a try. Maybe play it for a little bit. And yeah, I'm actually loving it. I'm not loving it to the point where Taylor trying to pimp out the main game. I'm never gonna buy the main game. They never got me there just because I don't feel I could purchase for $80 and feel justified that I'm gonna play it enough, because eventually I think this will come time where it dies down. But the thing that I do like about this, if it's free and keeps going, this game is perfect for, hey, you got half an hour to 40 minutes to kill, put it in there. And that's one thing about the single games for me. It's like, oh, for something like Last of Us, that's never a game where like I got half an hour, I'm gonna play a little bit. No, that's a game where I want to sit down for 3 to 4 hours, be locked in the world, stuff like this. That is like right when I get home from work, if I before bed, I can hop online and play with these guys a little bit. And yeah, it's been lots of fun. I honestly have very little complaints, and that's coming from a mainstream guy. So maybe there's some Call of Duty fans out there who might not like this or that, but everything from the revival system to the perks you can buy, the gulag as like that one buy back. I think most of the time I love the smoke aspect. It's like, yeah, it can be a pain in the ass, but I love it because it just adds this fun dynamic. It adds almost like a non-Call of Duty dynamic, and I think it works well. I love just the randomness and sporadic of it. It's kind of like what Mike Tyson said. You can have a plan until you get punched in the face, and we've had that many times where us three we're doing this, and then I get killed off, or Taylor gets killed off, or Dylan. It's mostly me getting killed off, but that's the thing where it happens, and then it changed everything, because then it's like, instead of going to that point, okay, we gotta get to a store, or if you see a guy or a bounty or a bounty's on you, that changes. Okay, we can't stay here because people know where we are, or there's a bounty right there. Do you want to go for it or not? So it's like, it is like a choose your own adventure. It's not just as simple as a, oh, hey, go in there and kill a bunch of guys. Because for me, and that is fun, that can be fun, but that for me lost its interest a long time ago. It's not games that I really need to play. So this, I love that they have that, but they have, and this speaks for someone too that's not the greatest at first-person shooters, you don't have to be great at this to win. There's times where I've played alone and gone to third rank just because I was good at hiding, and I found a building that was there, and I just had the right perks or the right gun or the right spot, and I could take a guy out. If it was just like who gets the most kills, or it's a death match, that's where I don't love as much as like Plunder, or a one-on-one I'm never going to play because I'll just get demolished. And Plunder, I like the idea of it, but it's just that is so based on you got to kill people. That's what I love about Royales, especially the teams. I always classify myself as like a support person. So I think it finds, if you're that type of person that if you don't like first-person shooters, or you might find it daunting, because like me, I don't play them that much, so I consider myself pretty poor, or just average or below average. There's other things you can do. There's other things. I love being the driver. I love doing things that can help the team out, but maybe I can't get that winning kill, but I can get us to the win. And I think the game has done many good things. And I think they're smart, because it is the talk of the town. I think they will save it for free. There are rumors that like the Call of Duty, the next one won't have it, so it's going to be this interesting dynamic of, does this one keep getting supported for years and years, or is
I hope
it?
so.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see what's going to happen. And the same thing, if there's some updated version, or the same way like Battle Royale or Fortnite, when they like changed their whole map and stuff, like they did a big event. If there's ever a time where, let's say, Last of Us comes out, fucking better, please come out in May. If that gets delayed, I'm going to be crushed. But let's say it comes out and then I'm ready to get back into it, or I'm busy. If they say, hey, we're doing a double XP weekend, or a big event where it is a new map, or it is a new weapons, or something like that, there's many things just like GTA or Red Dead. Red Dead is a game constantly where they're like, oh, there's these 10 bounties, and you go in and you get those. So yeah, I'm loving the game. I like I said, it's not a game that, it's not changing the world for me. It's not a game where it's like, oh, I would take this over single player games, but it's like a kind of fun junk food game. And like Taylor said, it has been great. The cross platform playing is awesome, and it's been fun to do that with these guys. And I think that's the other thing too. It is fun to play solo. I have had lots of fun solo, especially early on, but definitely try and get at least one friend, and you'll have a really good time. So yeah, I recommend it to honestly anybody, unless you absolutely just hate shooters in general. Like you have never liked them, you've never liked even GoldenEye, then okay, fine, pass along. But if you've even fell out, I think is a good place to jump in and try it out for a couple maps. So yeah.
Nice. Oh man, this game's like a real culmination for me, because as I mentioned earlier, like Call of Duty is like, I used to, like back in middle school, high school, around like a decade ago, honestly, at this point, is when I was super into Call of Duty. And like multiple games too, right? Like Modern Warfare, Modern Warfare 2, and Black Ops. Like I was super into all three of those games and played them all the time. And then for battle royale stuff, I haven't played them as much. I've played Apex. I played like maybe 10 matches of Apex, but it just didn't really do it for me. The other one that I was really into that kind of fell off and lost player base and kind of disappeared is called the Culling. I don't know if any of you have heard or played the Culling. Maybe.
I watched you and Tyler Briggs stream it. I
Oh,
remember watching
really?
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess I must have streamed it like way
Yeah.
back
Oh yeah.
when I was playing it. Yeah, I don't even know what happened to that game, but essentially it just wasn't really popular enough and couldn't maintain. But that was a cool game because it was more like it was much more Hunger Games, right? It was like 20 people, I think, and it was on like a small jungle island, and it was more about like fists and spears and things like that. But I loved that game so much. I was really sad when it kind of I don't know. Like one, they patched it and changed it a bunch, and then I wasn't really into it anymore. But then it kind of just didn't have enough player base to maintain the servers. But so this is kind of like the perfect way for me to come back into these kind of games. And like even multiplayer games in general, I've really fallen off. Like since Call of Duty, I was in Overwatch for a while, and I've been really into Counter Strike for the last few years. But obviously, I haven't really played any Call of Duty in a long time. So it very much feels like coming home in some ways. Like even one detail I love is that on within this big map, there's Scrapyard from Modern Warfare 2 is just like that map is just plopped down in one section, and then there's some other COD 4 map that's in there somewhere as well. So it's really cool, like the familiarity of it as well, since I've just played those games so much. But it's just such a well-made game in that like I don't know, like I guess this is a Treyarch or no, this isn't Treyarch. This is Infinity Ward, right, Taylor?
Yeah.
Yeah. That like Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2 were probably my favorites, and those were um Infinity Ward as well. So it just has that same like polish to it, right? Like these games make so much money every year that they just have massive teams and really like can just polish every detail of like just the animations or like the sound design is just so good, and like the games run really well and all that good stuff. But yeah, it's just really fun to like actually be into the battle royale thing because that's been like the talk of the town for the last like 2 or 3 years at this point, and I haven't really been in that sphere of the gaming world, so it's cool that I can finally jump back in. And I think one of the coolest things for me is the crossplay. Like Taylor's on Xbox One, me and Travis are on PlayStation 4. The fact that we can play together is to me just like the coolest thing. Like obviously crossplay has kind of been happening for a couple years in like Rocket League and other games, but I haven't really experienced it yet. And I just remember back when I played Call of Duty, like primarily back in middle school, high school, like I had a ton of friends on Xbox playing, but then I also had tons of friends on PlayStation who I could never play with, and we would talk about the game at school or to go to each other's house and play together, but you could never really have that experience just playing online together, like without having to worry about anything. So the
Mhm.
fact that you can just go online and queue with someone on another system is so cool to me, and I love that that's just in there and it's not there's like no issues with it. It just works like perfectly fine. I just think that's super cool. So yeah, I'm super into this. I've been loving it a lot. We got our my first place last night. It's such a weird thing to say, first place, but finally got that last night, which was super intense and honestly brought me back to Modern Warfare 2. The feeling of getting a nuke, like the first time you get a nuke, is just like your heart's pumping. You're like, oh my god, I need
man,
one or
you
two
can
more
feel it.
kills.
Yeah.
When it gets down to it, and there's only a couple guys left, your heart's just pumping, and you're like just running on pure adrenaline at that point. And then when you get it, it just it's such a great feeling. Like I had to do some laps around my room. I was just popping off. So I'm in love with it. Everyone like it takes a solid 100 gigs, but I think it's worth the download.
Yeah.
And it's just fun to like play some multiplayer games because I haven't really been doing that a lot. Like even like my PS4, I have not played a single online game the entire time I've had a PS4. So that just goes
Wow.
to show like how much different this home console has been for me than Xbox, where I was playing tons of shooters. So
Yeah.
I'm loving it. Taylor, thanks for getting me into this, and you boys for carrying me in some games. And Taylor, last night that first place, I wouldn't have done it without you. So yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the funny thing because last night, like when I was running, because I know you were kind of in and out between playing and on Animal Crossing, so I was just trying to survive because I got out of the gulag, and then I get to the buy station, and as I was running, I'm like, okay, who wants to come back? None of you guys said anything, and I thought Travis just ditched. So it could have been anyone's game. I could have went with Travis, but no, I was like, okay, well, I'll go with Dylan. Clicked you in, and thank God, because Travis was out cold.
Dude, it was so like I took my headphones out of my phone, so I was thinking I could just talk to you that way because I was folding some laundry, but then I forgot to put it on speakerphone, so I couldn't hear you guys, and I didn't realize it for a bit because yeah, as you said, Travis was AWOL, and then you were just I thought focusing. So I was just folding some laundry, and then I look at my screen, and my character's like parachuting from the sky, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm back in it. So that was hilarious.
Hey, I did a lot
All
at the
right, yeah,
beginning.
I actually jumped in there. I played a few games. I haven't played with you guys yet though. I'm definitely excited
Tonight,
to play
after
that.
you guys do your
I-
Catwoman cast, let's do it.
Let's fucking do it. My history with BRs, I remember playing like a Minecraft BR, and I remember just thinking like that was like revolutionary at the time. Look where we are now. I was telling Dylan this like off cast. It's just like jumping on and like experiencing a AAA game like Call of Duty, like one of the biggest franchise in like gaming, and it's just so well polished. Like the audio is so clean. There's no like frame issues. Just like it's so great. It's like the level of quality is just top notch, and it's so fresh because like my biggest played our BR is PUBG, and like oh my god, I think that game is still having issues. Like I haven't played it in like over a year now,
It's
but
a
like
janky game, yeah.
it's so janky. Like you learn to like use the bugs like to your advantage. Like that's what type of game it is. Whereas like Call of Duty, like it's so well made. Like everything is just so nice in it. Like all the little details in it. You just gotta tip your hat to them. So I'm definitely excited to play it more. I love like the new systems that they added. Like I haven't used too much of like the buying stuff. I feel like I got to use that more, but like just getting perks and like the loadout, I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just the map is sick. I haven't gone to everywhere on it, but it's like the places I have been, it's just so nice. And I really like how you can come back actually. Like other than
Yeah.
and there's a few ways too, so it makes it so it's not like you just die as you're parachuting. It's like, well, this game fucking sucks, and I have to wait for the next match. It's like, oh, I actually get a chance to get back in there, right?
Yeah, it makes it like that much more impressive for whoever wins because one, like yeah, the gulag means that like pretty much everyone until when does it kick when can you not go to the gulag, Taylor? What's the player number?
It gets down to 30 players left in the game, then the gulag cancels out.
Right. So until that point, like everyone is essentially like half of the people are getting a second life essentially for free in some way. And then
Yeah.
yeah, you can be bought back like an infinitive amount of times. Like even until is that goes farther than 30, you can buy people back, right?
You can buy people back at any point in the game.
Right. You just need sometimes the shop isn't always in the range of the smoke, I guess, is the only difference there.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's crazy. Like, yeah, I mean, starting with 150 people, that's the biggest. Like, because Fortnite's 100, right? And then Apex, I think, is 70 something. So yeah, it's like that's a lot of people, and then even then, like tons of those people are coming back as well multiple times. So it's pretty crazy.
I don't think we've had a battle royale with like a plus 100 amount. I think 150 is the max right now for a multiplayer game, and to have that many people with their own connections and to have the game, I mean, for the most part, there's like a little bit of lag that pops in here or there, but like for the most part, just a flawless stream of connection in these games. It's just it blows my mind how you can have that many people together and not have significant disruptions or lag happening constantly.
That's just a testament to, I mean, Infinity Ward, I mean, Activision, just Call of Duty as a brand, like, right? They've just been making multiplayer games for so long, and they have so much money that they're the ones who can pull it off without it being a disaster. Whereas if some other like smaller company tried it, I'm sure that they would just have tons of server issues, have tons of bugs. Whereas this came out, and on day one, it worked perfectly fine. And yeah, as Taylor said, like sometimes there's some lag, or I've been timed out a couple of times. But like I don't know, it's just like you can immediately hop into another game, so it almost doesn't really matter if you get kicked out. Like whatever, you just move on. Like I've never had it where I've been in like a top 10 situation, I get kicked out. It's always like somewhere near the start of the game where it just bugs out for whatever reason.
Yeah,
so.
just everyone taking it once probably is pretty. There goes Travis. Yeah, I'm excited to play with you guys though. It'll definitely be a whole nother experience playing with friends and just having fun.
Brooklyn, you have a microphone, right?
Of course, that's why I'm talking to you right now, buddy.
Oh, outstanding.
Oh, I went there.
If only you could plug a Yeti into a PlayStation.
No, I have a mic. I was debating downloading on my computer or not, but I
Right.
didn't want to.
That's a lot of gigs, man. It's hard to find that space on
It's
a
a
computer.
lot of gigs. The thing is though, is when Shay gets back, she's gonna be like in quarantine, so I'm not gonna see her for a while. And I was gonna leave my PlayStation here and just have my computer, so I might have
Yeah.
to install it so I can at least play like at my parents' house. But we'll see what
Right.
happens.
Dude, that'd be sick. Taylor on
Would be.
Xbox, us on PlayStation, you on PC. We have
That
the,
is like that is the
trio.
holy trinity of like consoles.
That's a wild world. That's a thing that you can do.
See, I'm hoping they add those 4-mans because then we can get one person on Switch, PlayStation, PC,
Oh,
and
God.
Xbox.
Shoddy not playing on Switch.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus.
That's you, Taylor. You're the Switch guy.
How-
You're the Switch guy,
how-
chicken man.
How many,
He could play it on the roof.
how
though.
many memory cards do you think you'd need on the Switch to install this?
Yeah, that's a good point. Like the default Switch has 32 gigs, and then like most of the affordable extra space
Yeah.
is like 64. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's not
64.
possible.
Yeah.
You'd have to stream it, and that would have tons of
Oh
lag.
no. Oh, that'd be terrible.
Yeah.
Right on.
Don't bring it to Switch. We don't need it. Just give us another Mario Kart. We'll be all good.